He played, I think, a half season with me at centre back.
Really?
Together.
Really?
Yeah.
Together?
The Ligt and the Bramkarzy.
Playmakers at the back.
Yeah, but it was really, it was like, yeah, of course we didn't see Beckenbauer, but everybody was saying like, he dribbled just from our own box to the other box and just...
Prosto w Szczenę mamy gościa, z którym chciała porozmawiać cała piłkarska Europa w zeszłym sezonie. Mam takie wrażenie. Nawet Foot Trucki...
możemy tylko my.
A możemy tylko my. Nawet Foot Truck jeździł do Amsterdamu, pukał do drzwi, a tam Mateusz Górski oprowadził nas po szkółce Ajaxu, ale do Lichta nie było dojścia, dopóki nie przeszedł do Juventusu. Także mamy naprawdę wielką szansę porozmawiać z Matthijsem de Lichtem. Matthijs de Ligt, hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
And the first, the Ligt.
The Ligt, yes.
Ligt is very important.
That's good.
We talked before the recording about the Polish goalkeepers, and you know a lot of Polish goalkeepers, which are not quite popular, yeah?
Well, in Holland there were a few, I think. Titon, he played for PSV Eindhoven. Mateusz Pusch for Roda JC. So I know a few. Of course, Tek, our goalkeeper, and Fabianski, and all those Polish goalkeepers.
I heard that when you weren't dream about changing the club for Juventus, your first trip with your girlfriend was to Turin?
Yes, that's true. That's
really?
True.
What's the story
Yeah,
about
it's because I last season I played in Ajax and I won the Golden Boy. It's an award for the biggest talent in Europe, and it was here in Turin where I would get him. So that's when the first time I traveled with my girlfriend to another place, and that was Turin.
So that's very symbolic, yeah?
That's really symbolic.
It was written in the stars.
We all, with my girlfriend and I said always, before I came here, we already completed Turin because we went here for the Golden Boy. He knows what happened in April, so...
I don't remember. I don't remember. He didn't score against me.
So, yeah.
To be fair, it's almost an own goal. Nobody knows that. He knows it.
Almost an own goal?
Yeah, because Rugani scored that goal, not him. And even Rugani doesn't know it.
In Polish Twitter, when fans are discussing about Matthijs de Ligt, and everybody are asking why he didn't join Barcelona and go to Juventus, and everybody are putting the picture at the screen after the game Portugal against Netherlands, and Cristiano Ronaldo is whispering something to your ears, and everybody are using it when someone asks why he didn't join Barcelona. That's the reason or not?
No, that's not the reason. Of course, I had a lot of time to choose between the clubs that I could join, and when I put everything on paper, Juventus was the best choice for me. So.
But he did speak to you, right?
He did speak to me, and obviously it was a big honor that he spoke to me.
It's the same when he spoke to Aaron, and Aaron said, "Oh, he phoned me before he signed for Juventus." It never makes a difference in your head. But like if you have Ronaldo coming to you, right, and he's like,
Cristiano Ronaldo,
it'll be good for you. You're like. It won't change your mind, but it will like go okay. Like Ronaldo thinks it's a good choice for me, so maybe it is.
Yeah.
Because you were 19 years old, and everybody in Europe loved how Ajax play and how, especially Matthijs de Ligt and Frenkie de Jong. It was the two names where everybody are discussing about it.
No, I think there was a few more.
They were feeling like Ziyech, like Tadic, yes.
The style of their play was just the whole 11. Yeah. It was so easy to fall in love with them, and not because of the two main young players, but like Tadic, who was in the Premier League. He was a good player in the Premier League, but he wasn't even a striker. He played on the wing. Yeah. When I saw him at Ajax, I was like, oh my god. Like he just fit in perfectly into that style of play, because he loves to play like it's almost like five-a-side the way he plays. He takes it. He always finds somebody close to him. He's not trying to dribble, shoot. Never. He just always finds somebody, and he was so good to watch and not so good to play against him.
I think that's the thing. I think as a team we were really complete last year. We had a lot of what Tek says. We had a lot of players who completed each other. Yeah, I think it was the symphony in the team, how we play, the way we play. Of course, we had a lot of young guys, but also some experienced guys who came back, like Tadic and Blind. And I think that was a good mix, and that's why we went to the semi-final.
Every big team has a big academy.
Yeah.
But the proportion of players that Ajax produces is just so strange. Like it's at least double of the next team in Europe.
I think what's also important is that Ajax is the perfect place for young players, because, for example, Chelsea. Chelsea has amazing youth players. And now this season they get a chance, but normally they get to the first team and they don't go into the first team because the first team is too good. I think Ajax was, okay, right now they're really good, but till 4 years ago Ajax was not top level. So you get your chance earlier and you can improve day by day because you play, you train with the first team. I think that's also really important.
So could it be the explanation of the Ajax Academy is actually the transfer policy of the first team? You can't afford to buy a player to take the place of the young kid, so you have to take the young kid.
Yeah,
and he starts playing.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a practice, yes, and so on.
I think the most important thing is that as an Ajax player, you know the way you get better, you know the way you train. It's always with the ball. Till you're 14, you always play the ball. You don't do physical training. You don't do running around the pitch. It's only about the ball.
There's a wall with when you can practice the ball. With the ball,
It's always with the ball, short spaces, and if you get older, you will get strength training and stuff like that. But first, focus on the technique, and then you see.
It's working.
It's working.
It's working.
As we can see, yeah.
So if you have any friends from Ajax who want to come to Juventus, let us know. We'll tell Paratici.
Or Cristiano Ronaldo.
Good agent.
A good agent for sure. We talked with Filip Bednarek. He's a brother of Jan Bednarek, and he is a goalkeeper in Dutch League 2 in Herenveen, the second goalkeeper.
He was in the Graafschap, no?
Yes.
Before.
And he told us that he worked with Erik ten Hag in Utrecht, and he said that it's a perfect match with Ajax because the style of his philosophy and ideas for football are perfectly suited to Ajax.
Obviously, he's a really great trainer. Last year was the second season I had him, and in the first season he had some difficulties because he came from a club named Utrecht, and that's a little bit a rivalry. So he didn't have a really good start with the fans and stuff like that. But yeah, last season he showed, and he said to everybody in the Ajax fans and club that he was the man. And you saw immediately what kind of trainer he is, and of course a trainer is as good as his team, but I think he has a really big role in the success.
You see some similarities between Erik ten Hag philosophy and Maurizio Sarri philosophy?
Yeah, you see some similarities, of course. He's an Italian trainer. It's always different than a Dutch trainer, I think. I think it's more predicted. You know how to put pressure, you know how to build up. And in Ajax it was just like we knew how to put pressure, but with the ball you just play. You just play
anything you want, yeah?
Anything you want. He will give some details where spaces or stuff like that, but in the end it's all about what the player decides for himself.
I thought that was one of the big differences also when I came from England. Like we played some good football at Arsenal with Arsene Wenger. We played some very nice, quick passing football, but we never prepared it in training. There was never like, okay, when the centre back has the ball, we would train that this one makes this movement and you play here, and
profiles of players determined.
It was just you'd improvise. You just play and enjoy the football. Where in Italy, every coach that I've had, it's all programmed before. No, you the day before the game, we have 11 against usually the guys from the Primavera, and we just this is the pattern of play that we have to use against this formation, and it's something really new that I've never seen before.
So it's more tactical as well than the Dutch coaches, which are very tactical in Europe as well.
Yeah, but it's different tactical, I think. For example, in Ajax, if you are a defender, you will defend, but you also will try to score a goal. So, for example, after the training, here it's not possible that the defender goes after the training trying to shoot, but there it's normal, because every player in the team, the defenders who is attacking and the attackers who defend, it's all together.
When we watched Ajax, even when we were analyzing you before our game, we said that it looks like a five-a-side football the way you guys play, like five against five indoors, and there's a shape of the team, but there's no real positions. Like everybody, you could easily imagine the Ligt playing in midfield in that team.
Oh, in Poland, like number 10.
Oh, no problem. But you know what I mean? Like there's no there wasn't a typical kind of players. On the wing, you had typical wingers.
Yes.
Because Neres and Ziyech. Oh, I'm sorry. I probably say his name wrong.
But also they played also in number 10 this season.
Yeah.
So
But Tadic wasn't a real striker. When I heard Frankie de Jong, I thought, oh, he was this playmaker only, and he's a small player, lightweight, and he was hard. Like Frankie de Jong could play centre back.
Yeah, he played. I think a half season with me at centre back.
Really?
Together.
Really?
Yeah.
Together?
Playmakers at the back.
But it was really. It was like. Yeah, of course we didn't see Beckenbauer, but everybody was saying like he dribbled just from our own box to the other box and just,
I think that's a beautiful part of football though. Like it's so nice, it must be nice to play, it's the freedom to play.
I think the most important thing in the Ajax philosophy is that the core of the team is that everybody must play and can play. So for example, last season, I think we had like, besides the goalkeeper, 2 real defenders. The rest are all football players. We played with Mazraoui on the right back, who was a midfielder. We played with Blind in centre back, who was also a midfielder. And you had only me and Tagliafico who were more defensive minded.
Tagliafico also played high.
He's also really
I think
attacking.
Even Onana could play on
even Onana. And that's the thing, you never get nervous of pressure and stuff like that, because everybody knows we can play and we will fix it.
You could see like the second half against them, when they scored the goal for 2-1, we tried to put pressure, it's normal, we had to score 2 goals. So we went high and they just got out of pressure 3 or 4 times. And we're like, we're not coming out anymore. And we actually found it difficult because we had to attack, but we were scared of going high up, because we were like, if we go high up again, they counter us and they have 3 against 2 against our defenders. And in the end, we never really created anything because we didn't have a formation or idea how to press them at that time, because
nobody has idea.
We sort of had to press them, but we knew that pressing them is just a risk of conceding a goal, more than a chance of us winning the ball high up and scoring a goal. It was so difficult.
I think the last team Europe was loved absolutely was Barcelona first season under the Guardiola, and the Ajax of Ten Hag and Ajax of the Ligt, and Frankie was second.
I was heartbroken because also against Tottenham, against anyone, I don't want Tottenham to win. But I was like, okay, they were much better than us. I hope they go and win. It would be such a beautiful story.
Yeah, and the story was
maybe also the way we went out is maybe also it's a quality the way we play, but also maybe sometimes it's too much. And I think in this semi-final we could have been more focused on keeping the
result.
But you're like showing off, and that's
also our style, and that's why we are loved by so many football fans, I think. But we are 2-0 front, I think 3-0 in total, and we still want to make the fourth and stuff like that. And if you look behind, maybe that's better if we did it different. But in the end, that's Ajax, and I think the way we played and showed is the way we want to be seen.
We talked with Wojtek before the show about you and the huge pressure you had to have, because you were 19 years old, you were a captain, and now you are changing the club for the big money. And in this age, Virgil van Dijk changing the club for Groningen for €250,000. It's not easy, isn't it?
No, it's not easy, but of course in Ajax I played there for 10 years. I came there when I was 9, so I knew kind of everybody and I knew the club. And when I became captain at 18, to be honest, the first time was really weird to be captain instead of Szczenę and all those older guys. But after that they accepted me, and I just did my thing. I like to have the responsibility to show to the team an example, and I think that the coach saw in me a good captain and he made me captain, and I really liked the job, to be honest.
You were a proper leader of Ajax. Forget the age, but you were a proper leader. And then you come to a Juventus side that has world champions in it and players who have won 9 Serie A's and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you want to keep your personality and be a leader, but you know that automatically you're not going to be right. You have to earn it now, I was impressed by your attitude, because usually young players, they tend to hide a little bit. They like, okay, I take it easy.
Yeah.
What was your approach when you went into a big dressing room?
Juventus told me also all right, you're young, but also the reason why we want to buy you is because you're already really mature, you know how to handle pressure and stuff like that. And they said also to me, it's difficult for a 19-year-old to go to another country, and of course it's going to be difficult for you, but we have confidence in you that you will find your place soon. And obviously when I came into the dressing room first time, it was like I was a little bit like a children who is in the candy shop, you know, like oh there you have Buffon, oh there you have Ronaldo, you know, a little bit like Szczenę, exactly. I think you are the first one I met he was like, oh, again a training.
No, so enthusiastic, yeah, as usual.
No, but in the beginning you're just a little bit looking like who is that, and stuff like how is he, and after 2 months I felt really like I could be more myself.
Whenever I changed clubs, it happened only twice in my life, plus one loan to Brentford, but so 3 times. The first weeks when you go into a new club and you don't know who your friend is, you don't know who you get along with. The only time that you really feel yourself is when you go on the pitch and you go in training and you just, okay, this is where I need to make my statement of what kind of personality I have. Did you find it the same?
Yeah, I found it the same, and the only thing that was difficult was in the beginning there was already a lot of eyes on me in the games. The second game I played, I made my own goal, and then there's even more pressure. I knew in the training I was training good, I felt good, but in the games it was still a little bit of adaptation to the new style of play. In the beginning it was difficult, but I think step by step I improved in that case. 1 month
into the season, you're already a top player in the team. But like in the first games, did you find it physically difficult, like to adapt to the new style of play, or did you find it difficult to be the kind of personality on the pitch that you knew you had? Because I think that's always the more difficult challenge, like to go, okay, this is me, I'm the boss on the pitch now.
Yeah.
Was that like the just adaptation to the league, or was it like to find the real you on the pitch?
First of all, I came late into the club because there was a lot of problems between Ajax and Juventus about paying. So I came, I think, 2 weeks after you guys started, and in the beginning we went straight to Asia. I didn't even train one time, and I had to play 2 days after I had to play my first game against Tottenham. I was like, after 20 minutes I couldn't breathe anymore, So in the beginning I was maybe not as fit as the year before, so I have a little bit a false start. You say false start. Yeah. Also, obviously, we play now a little bit more like zonal marking.
Yes.
I always played like man marking, so if an attacker was here, I was always here, so he couldn't escape. But now it was more like this, and I had to get used to this and know when to press and when to move backwards. So that was also a little bit different. And what you say, obviously, I think I'm a player who wants to win, and also that can give an example to other players that I want to win.
And what was in the dressing room after some incidents with your hands?
Yeah.
What happened? Because Tech told me that they have a new goalkeeper in Juventus. Not only Pizzolio, Perin.
To be fair, nobody speaks about this, and we talked about it last week. I think there was like a meeting of referees, and they said against Lecce shouldn't be a penalty, against Torino shouldn't be a penalty. Nobody talks about it in the media. They only like to talk about it when it should have been a penalty against Juventus. But when the referee actually admitted, oh, that was a mistake, nobody talked about it anymore.
It's not going to happen because
now they're scared of him. Now they're scared of him. They're like, let him play with his hand anyway.
There were a lot of jokes in dressing room, or like?
No, I think it was more like they couldn't believe it. For example, I came into the shower after Torino. I think we won 1-0. The ball came. I was like this, and it came against my hand again. And I remember coming in the shower, and there were like people who were saying, "It's unbelievable. It's like they're a magnet in your arm, Every game."
Because it was just bad luck. Like, I think there was only one case against Inter when it's a penalty, it's a handball. Then the rest is just from 1 meter. Just people find your hand. It's like you have a hand of God. You're like Maradona now.
And I think the best situation to explain it was the penalty I conceded against Germany. I don't know if you've seen it.
That's not a penalty.
I blocked the ball, and I looked up, and then suddenly it fell on my arm. And
did you see it?
Yes. I think that was the best way to explain what kind of bad luck I had, I think.
But you know what? I think in this kind of when they're so extreme, because he just had a month of handballs in every game, you don't want to make it awkward, so you have to laugh about it. Because if you don't talk about it and you just go, nah, let's not talk to me about handball, you make it awkward.
When I know when I make a mistake, or when I know I made a handball, I'm not just the kind of guy who gets upset if someone says something about it against me. I like to make a joke about it, and
that's good attitude.
And we know that if I ever have an injury during the game and we don't have any more substitutions,
there's the goalkeeper. He's ready. He's waiting for it. I want to ask about your, I don't know how to say, maybe professors, because when we are talking about football, always say that that's a university, and you have a great professors about defending in your career now, because you have a Giorgio Chiellini, Leo Bonucci, you have a Van Dijk in national team. You often talk about your profession with this guy, or just watching and observing?
I think both. You talk a lot with these guys about how they see situations, how they can prevent situations, what they do in this kind of situations. And obviously you also look to them, what they do, how calm they are. And you try to pick some attributes from them to improve your own game. But in the end, I think the most important thing is to observe them, but not to change your own style of play. I think every player has his own style, so I do also have my own style. And I just try to see things from them, what I can improve and how I can improve.
But you don't want to copy, right? You don't.
No,
you never want to be like I speak to Buffon. I also have a professor, if that's what you call them. And sometimes I'll see one situation, he will say it in another way, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Like you have to have your things that you feel comfortable doing, and sometimes you go, oh, like that looks really good, or his advice is good, but then sometimes you like, okay, all right, nice one. But you don't want to. You want to be your own player in the end.
Yeah. But last year we have on this show Giorgio Chiellini, and he said that he missed in the modern football the profile of defenders when they were in the past, because the Guardiolismo made a lot of defenders who can feel very comfortable with the ball, but they are not so good in defending.
They're not so aggressive.
And then Matthijs de Ligt came.
Yeah, but
not to the Juve, to the stage of the
is the collection of both.
Exactly.
Because he feels comfortable with the ball, but God is an animal.
It's a gorilla.
Like, Chiellini got injured and I feel no difference. And that says a lot. When
you were young, you were preparing to this, or it's because of your, I don't know, physical profile, or what?
I was, to be honest, always, till I became 15, I was a midfielder. So that's, I think, the way I learned to play a little bit. And then I was really big already. So the coaches thought we put him one more year in midfield to improve his technical skills, and then after we put him in the defense, because obviously he has the physical attributes to be a great defender. And after that I improved also my defending, I think. I trained a lot with a lot of ex-players like Jaap Stam, Frank de Boer was in Holland. So I learned a lot of these guys, and I just tried to improve every day.
Matthijs, thank you very much indeed for your time. It was great pleasure to meet with you. Wojciech Szczęsny, Matthijs de Ligt, Łukasz Śląski. Dziękuję bardzo.
Nice language.
Yes, dziękujemy bardzo serdecznie. Jak widzieliście, dostąpiliśmy tego zaszczytu, żeby porozmawiać z Matthijsem de Lichtem, a Mateusz Prosto chyba sobie wytnie ten fragment. Z początku, tak?
W ulubionych będzie.
Będzie w ulubionych, naprawdę, no, duży zaszczyt.